Once again, it's the night to have those billion-dollar dreams. The Powerball jackpot is sitting at a whopping $1.3 billion. The jackpot has been growing since the end of May and has now gone 41 consecutive drawings without a grand prize winner. A reminder, the odds of winning the jackpot are roughly 1 in 292.2 million. That's a lot. But let's say by sheer luck, you're one of the ones that match all 6 numbers. What happens then next, right? Life-changing, right? Taxes, autonomy, all these smart moves and these costly mistakes come into play right here. So we're going to offer some of the best ways to handle your winnings. Let's bring in Scott Levine, CPA with Intown Financial Services here in Atlanta. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, Chesley. How are you?
All right, let's talk money, man. What's the very first thing somebody should do after realizing they've won the jackpot?
The very first thing I would say is take care of that ticket. You're going to want to put that in a really safe place and make sure you don't put that near any liquid or anything like that.
Yeah. How do you decide between taking the big lump sum, which is what I would do, or you're taking those payments over time?
Well, that will depend on your goals and your risk tolerance, because if you take the lump sum, you're going to be able to invest it and grow it as you like. But if you have a zero risk tolerance, you've got no friends, you've got no desire to talk about financial planners, and you're bored by all that, you can take the annuity and just, live comfortably forever.
All right, what's some of the biggest mistakes that you've seen people make after suddenly coming into this large sum of money?
I would say the first thing is they let everyone know they have that money because, $1 billion buys a lot of bacon, and you're going to have a lot of people coming out of the woodwork wanting a piece of that. So if you can keep it to yourself as long as you can, that'd be great. Buying things that don't really grow in value or just cost you more money, boats, supercars, things like that, I would stay away from those, at least, in the very beginning until you can set things up.
How do what? You want you've dreamed about this? You want that big ticket item like right away, right? Is that the reason why most winners go broke?
Yes, because they spend first, think later. And you can get something like that if you want, but you want to really set things up and plan ahead of time and then spend the money later.
So that comes down to maybe hiring somebody to take care of your money financially. How should you go about doing that?
Well, I would actually hire 3 sets of people. First off, you're going to want a lawyer. You're going to want representation. You may want to have trusts, estate, something like that, but you're going to want a good lawyer. Second off, you've got me here, so I would say you definitely want a good CPA, and then a good financial planner that works with that CPA. And instead of maybe one financial planner, maybe even a team. More money, more planners, the better.
Now, is it wise not to let them know you've won first?
I would keep it a secret until you have all of that in place.
Yeah. Because once they know you've won, the fee goes up, right? Could go up. I'm not saying you would do that, but I'm just saying, you got to be careful.
Richer you are, the more fees you're going to pay. But in theory, you're not going to be able to keep that a secret. So if you have a good person ahead of time, nice and trustworthy, the fee is going to stay the same regardless.
Do you think that people should, and I've often thought about this, if I were to win, do I still live the same lifestyle for a little bit of a time before I start going into my future plans?
Absolutely. Again, you're going to want to think first, spend later. Once you get your goals done and you want to decide, rationally how you want to live your life, then you can change. But a lot of people will, buy that big 30-bedroom mansion that they don't need. So what's the point? Because that's just, again, money going down the drain. Because if you spend wisely, you can just think of it this way, that you and your descendants and your entire line will never have to work again. Yeah. So maybe you wait with that big house for a few months.
Right. Is it your advice to stay anonymous with this?
Absolutely. If there's any way you can keep that to yourself, by all means. I think in international countries, when they have lottery winners, they actually have the option and they will keep their name private forever.
In Georgia,
you'd be surprised. Okay. I've had clients that have gotten windfalls and people come out of the woodwork wanting a piece of that. And then, it's great to start giving money away. It's, it'll buy you a lot of karma, but you got to worry about the taxes, and anything over a certain amount, you got gift tax returns. The person you're giving money to may have to worry about that. So again, it all comes back to think first, spend later. Yeah.
In Georgia here, you have that option, but how does that get out? Like, how do people find out who won? Because obviously they're looking for them. Once we announce a winner, people are going to start looking for you, right?
Oh, absolutely. But, if you've got 5 Lamborghinis parked in front of your, relatively small house, that's a golden sign that something good has happened to you.
That's a dead giveaway right there. Yeah. How do you protect yourself against people that, the scams, and then people that are looking for those handouts?
That's again where you're going to want to have a good team. Like if you have a lawyer, they're going to be able to research pretty much anyone who calls you. If you have an investment team, they're going to be able to vet any, supposed investment that comes your way. CPAs again are great resources. Those three people have seen a lot of things in the world, so we've got good radars.
Scott, I'm not going to ask you whether or not you're buying a ticket. I'm going to ask you how many are you buying?
Quite a few. And normally I like to buy lottery tickets for my friends, for small little gifts, but can't take that chance now.
And I'm sure your team is already in place, my friend. Hey, look, remember me, man. Remember me when you hit it big, all right? Scott,
good luck to you.
Thanks so much for joining us. Really appreciate it.